Hey everybody, it's MC from Not Just Scrapbooks, and I have a project that I made using my Prima dolls. It's a mixed media canvas. It's actually 10 by 8 1/4, or roughly those dimensions. And I use my Prima mixed media doll stamps that I've gotten recently. And what I did is I didn't really know where this piece was going. I had an idea in my head which revolved mostly around the two dolls and doing something that said sisters. So when I first started, I gessoed the whole canvas, and then I realized that that's not what I wanted. So after I heat, yeah, I'm one of these people that when I start crafting, I want it to rock and roll. So I heat set my gesso and added some Mod Podge to the canvas, and then I tissue wrapped it with this Tim Holtz paper, and the only thing I had done was to make sure that the plate-de-sol was straight up, but eventually I kind of hit it, so it didn't really matter. Once I did that and I set it up, I did seal it first, which is very strange, but I sealed it with that satin hardcoat Mod Podge that I like, and that's what gives it a tiny bit of a shine up on there. And then I used Distress Inks, and after I used some Distress Ink, I used a template, a stencil, sorry. And then I realized that the stencil was not giving me the effect I wanted, so I smeared all the paint on the stencil, and I ended up with a lot of pink paint in the background. So I'm like, okay, now what am I going to do? So I decided to add grass and bushes and a tree. And my tree, it's got a look of having some sort of fruit in there. It's hard to get the whole canvas in because of the angle of my camera. And the pink was still pink at that point. And then I put some flowers in there, and then I decided to use my True Black Spectrum Noir pen to outline the flower in the center. And then I decided that, again, the petals had been painted. And then I decided that there wasn't enough of a contrast in my flowers. See, in this one, there wasn't enough shading. So I used my Spectrum Noir. After the paint dried, I used the CR1 on top of my acrylic paint. And I really didn't know that was going to work, but it did very well, actually. And so I was able to use my Spectrum Noir pen to shade my flower. I also used my Spectrum Noir pen to create the illusion of branches in my tree. That done, I decided that my background was a little too pink, so I added a wash of green. And by a wash, I mean that what I did is I diluted the acrylic paint, probably something like 3 parts water to 1 part paint, and was able to coat it that way. And I also used some of the Distress ink pads that I had in the green shades, and I used those as well to distress the pink. Okay, what's left? Well, the bias tape, actually it's not bias tape, it is seam binding. And you may have seen me in my previous tutorial with the tag show you how to color your seam binding. So that's the seam binding that I colored in my previous video. And then I decided to just lightly stamp butterflies with brown archival ink on it. Now for the dolls, I use my Spectrum Noir pens and the Prima Madeline collection, again, same collection as my tag. And if you really look at the tag and you look at this little girl, you'll notice that she is wearing the other half of the outfit, meaning that where the skirt was pink in the other one, and the top and the trim here were like out of this material. So, basically, when you cut out the dress and use the different parts to put together one dress, you have the opposite pieces left to create another dress. So that's what I did. And I used the same fabric for both girls because I wanted to give the impression of, sisters, dressed pretty much the same, like I guess mommy sews or something. Or mommy wanted them to have something similar, but not quite the same. Okay, the letters. The letters are thickers from 2-3 years ago. They are a fabric. And I'm not sure that they're still available. I like the set because look at all the there's a lot of each letter on here. So that was pretty cool. No capitals, but it didn't really matter for what I wanted. So they started off white, and I did use my Spectrum Noir pens. I used the pink, and then I did the outline of each with a brown Spectrum Noir, and decided I didn't really like the look. So I mixed a pink, a pink, a white, and an orange. And I didn't really mix them completely. I just used a paintbrush and kind of stippled the paint onto the letters here. And so if you look at it closely, you'll see that the letters are not uniformly one color. They're a mix of a bunch of colors. Let me see if I can turn this around and show it to you a little bit better. Sometimes it's kind of hard to get. There we go. So you can see that, the paint is stippled on. And I think that's all I've got to tell you about this art piece that was running around in my head and driving me crazy. And I still have some pieces left of what I had cut out. So I have this other little doll that I'm going to use. I haven't decided if I was going to leave her that way, but I just wanted to show you how you can play dress up. Basically, you can change the look of the outfit just by changing the clothes you have on her. And, you can layer different things and get different outfits. So don't be afraid to play with your dolls. After all, we've just all been waiting for an excuse to be able to do that. And some of us don't have kids or grandkids that allow us the privilege of playing this way. Haven't figured out if this would work yet. Probably not. It would if I left one of these showing and then did this. But anyway, the point is you can play a lot with your dolls and have a passel of fun and create different projects. So that's it for this video, and I will see you again pretty soon with a haul. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching.